Welcome back to our podcast, CRM Chris Ramkudem Caesar podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today we are going to discuss something that we once discussed. We are just making a follow-up on that. I once said to you, the relationship between Africa and Russia and China. It's not a relationship of mutual benefit. And most of my critiques came hard on me for that, because blindly, as Africans, we believe that Russia and China have our interest at heart. I disagree, and I want to register this disagreement. Even though I grew up in the politics of the ANC, I know what the position of the African National Congress is so far as our relationship with Russia and China is. But I choose to differ. Why do I choose to differ? Experience has taught me that we cannot have one African leader taking decisions for us. Our African leaders, most of them, the decisions that they've taken are informed by what personal benefits come with that. We know that most of our leaders, when they go abroad, they don't negotiate for the continent. They negotiate for themselves as individuals. At some stage, we thought the ANC was immune for that kind of corrupt behavior. But with time, we have realized that the ANC, like many other African continents and liberation movements, they also have such rotten behavior. So I'm saying to you, because of that, I then decided to make my own analysis. I refuse to blindly adopt the position that the organization imposed on us and expect us to understand. I said to you at some stage, Russia or the East have a problem with the West because they both want to become superpowers. That is not the situation in Africa. We are not interested in that. We don't want to become superpowers. Why do they want to become superpowers? Because they want to control the world. So two things that divide the world, or the world is divided along the lines of religion and the East and the West, because they want to become superpowers. So the reason why Russia and China have come to Africa to assist Africans to unseat the West in Africa, it is not because they really see us as brothers, but it is because they have an interest in Africa, the same way that the West have an interest in our minerals in Africa. Now, when I said you must look at how many people, black people in particular, live in Russia, you must look at how many black people live in China, people did not understand what I meant. In fact, there's more black people living in Europe and America than there is black people living in Russia and China. And that should tell you how they really feel about us. When I raised that issue, many comrades of mine attacked me. But let me prove my theory. Those of you who watched the celebration in Russia, was it on the 9th? The 9th of May, where the president of Russia has sent special planes with advanced military security to fetch the president of Burkina Faso, Traore. People thought it is because putting values Traore. I differed on that. I disputed that. I disputed that. But to my detractors, I think I'm vindicated now. Did you see how this soldier who was, the Russian soldier who was supposed to welcome and salute Captain Traore, who's the head of state of Burkina Faso, the Russian soldier who was supposed to salute Captain Traore, the head of state of Burkina Faso, refused to do that. refused to do that. Yes, I know afterwards, President Putin organized something special to make up for that mistake, and that soldier was immediately dismissed. But for me, what is important is the attitude of the soldier. The attitude of that soldier represents the attitude of many Russians. This is how Russians despise us as Africans. This is how Russians feel about us as Africans. The same way Chinese during COVID-19 felt like black people are the ones who are bringing COVID-19 into China. So when there are incidents of this nature, you should look deep. You should zoom into the situation. You should pay much attention into the situation. Now, for me, the action of this soldier, who was the Russian soldier, was supposed to salute and welcome Captain Traore, talks to the attitude of Russians generally. You see, if I come to your house and your child tells me that I am not welcome in your house because I'm a drunkard, because I'm ugly, because I'm wearing cheap clothes, you can come later on and try to tell me that, no, this child is mumbling and fumbling, is talking nonsense. Yes, you can say that for the sake of peace on that day. But the truth would have been told. And no child can stand in front of me and tell me that nonsense unless the nonsense has been discussed in the household, unless that is the belief of the family. So I'm saying to you, the actions of that captain not the captain, the soldier who was supposed to welcome and salute Captain Traore in Russia, represent the attitude of all Russians. Putin is only pretending because he wants to use us. Putin wants to use us. The East are not different from the West, but for me, the West are the better devils because at least we know how to handle them. We've been living with them for years. As much as they've extracted minerals from our countries, but we've also benefited from them. What have we benefited from the East, except for the paramilitary training that they have given us, the guerrilla training, just so that we can come back and sit for them. Remember, not for us, for them, the Europeans. They were using us. So I'm recording this clip just to make sure that I get back to my detractors to say, remember what I said about the Russians. The actions of this soldier who failed to salute Traore represent the general attitude of Russians about Africans. They pretend to like us more than Europeans because they also want to milk and use us. But they are even worse than Europeans. I'll choose Europeans over Russians and Chinese. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us not allow politicians to take decisions on our behalf. Most of the decisions that African politicians take, they benefit them financially. It is not because those decisions are correct for Africa. We'll stand up and challenge those decisions because we don't have kickbacks that our politicians are receiving from these silly countries. Thank you very much.